So a question was asked, men, do you feel superior to women? And if you do, is it a male ego thing? Which is a very valid question, and I think many men probably do feel superior to women just because they're men. And they might not understand why. And I think that if they really sat down and thought about it, they would understand why. And I can understand why. I can understand why a man would feel superior to a woman. And yes, it is somewhat of an ego thing. The reason why a man would feel superior to a woman is because men have to bring something to the table. Okay? Men are expected by society, by women, by other men, okay, by all their peers. They are expected to bring something to the table, meaning you have to provide, okay? So that burden is on you, 100%. Now, with today's new world that we live in, women are kind of coming in and saying, hey, 50-50, woo, woo, woo. But there's so much there that's not right. There's so much there that's really not even, not equal. For instance, men really do not expect women to come in 50-50. It's nice, right? It's nice if a woman comes in 50-50 because that means there's more money. But also you have to look at on the flip side. If she's working and it's 50-50, that means you guys spend less time together. She is going to be stressed out, so she's not going to help you, relieve your stress after coming home from work. She's going to be stressed out from coming home from work. So 50-50, there's a lot of problems there, right? I don't agree with this modern world. I would prefer the traditional world where that women stayed home, and that way they could keep the house clean, they could raise the kids, to a good extent before they went off to school, and she can relax and she can give her energy to support her husband when he comes home and he's stressed out, and they can be together, and then she can help him, in all those ways. Now, what is she doing during the day, during all those hours? I don't know. I don't know, right? Maybe she could find something to do. Maybe she could find some money to make. But if she's on par and equal with women, if women are on par and equal with men, that means that she's going to be as stressed out as the man. She's got to go to work, and so she's going to be stressed out. So when she comes home, she's going to be stressed just like he's stressed coming home. Because what does work do? It stresses you out. You're on the grind for 8 hours, right? Depending on what kind of work you do, right? Most normal people have to do a 9 to 5. Most normal people are not entrepreneurs, are not millionaires, are not business people, right? They do a 9 to 5. And it's a grind, and it's stressful. And if anything, even if it's a relatively easy job, you still have to be on task and cognizant and paying attention for 8 hours. That is draining. It's stressful. So when you come home, you want to relax, and you want somebody who's not going to be as stressed out as you, hopefully, right? That's part of the major benefit of having somebody at home who's not doing the same thing you're doing. So essentially, when it's 50-50, if you break it down and you think about it, it's really just two men. It's two people doing a man's job. What is a man's job? A man's job is to do a 9 to 5, 8 hours on the grind, stress, responsibility, accountability. Okay? Come home. You got to take the load off. This is the part of having a family. It's relaxing. Oh, I'm enjoying my time with my family. I'm happy. I'm spending time with my family. I lived with a couple when I was in my early 20s. The man would go work 9 to 5. Okay? He came home when he got home at 6 o'clock. He was happy as heck because all his stress he left at work. And he was happy because he got to see his kids, and they were cute, happy, bubbly kids because the mom was with them all day long, loving them, feeding them, looking after them, taking care of them. And she was a sweet woman, and they were happy because of that, because she brought value in her raising them. She wasn't an angry, authoritarian, disciplinarian type woman. She was happy, loving. It's not to say that she didn't discipline them, but because she was a good woman, a good quality woman, she brought that value to the table. So when daddy came home, kids were happy because she was reading to them, spending time with them. They were happy as clams. He would come home and he would benefit from all that aura of happiness, all that joy that mom and kids experienced throughout the day. And he would come home doing his part to support the family, and he would get that relief. So it was like he had the stress for 8 hours, then he had the relief for 8 hours of spending time with his family, then he slept for 8 hours, and it was this perfect little cycle, right, that he would go through every day. And it's like that is the quintessential, blueprint for what, that is the blueprint for what a marriage and family should be. The man's taking the burden of the stress. He's taking the burden of the accountability and the responsibility. The woman is his stress relief. When he comes home, his family is his stress relief. His wife is giving him love. She's giving him attention, validation. She's supporting him emotionally and psychologically and verbally. She's saying good things to him, right? He's stressed from that work. He comes home, his family, his kids are happy. He doesn't have to come home to a dirty, messy house. I mean, sometimes he does, right? And he gets upset probably by that. But she's cleaning, she's looking after them, she is doing her part and bringing value, right? This is what traditional marriage looks like. But now you got two men essentially, fundamentally, coming home stressed out. The house isn't clean because, and now it's like this team. And then all of a sudden you have to become a team as opposed to a family unit. Now all of a sudden you're team, and you have to siphon out teamwork. Well, I assign you to wash the dishes, and we do this, and it's like this. Maybe you could surmise that that's still quote unquote a unit, but it's difficult because now you got to split up tasks. Not only that, you have two people who are stressed out who come home from work. You see, so this is the modern world that we live in. So the question was asked, do men feel superior? Well, not anymore. I don't think as much anymore, because look at what we have. We have these women who are saying, I could do everything you can do. I can go out and work, so what do I need you for? But yet they also, in their nature, still want a man with resources, still want a man to be traditional. So men, we don't even know what to do. We don't know which way is up. Like our roles, thanks to feminism, thanks to this modern workforce, our roles have been diminished. Our worth has been diminished. Now, in the red pill, for me, I question that anyways. It's like, should my worth be based on my money? But yet women still do. They still require this traditional resources, and they still require men to... Women still place a man's worth in what he can provide. Whether subconsciously or they admit it or they know it, they still do. It's just now they think, oh, I can do all this, and I should have this kind of respect, and I'm not going to be your slave, your house slave. And this is all that radical and modern, second wave feminism did to damage the family unit, claiming that stay-at-home moms were robots and slaves, and they had no self-esteem, and they attacked those women. Lots of women feel very fulfilled in that role. A lot of women feel very unfulfilled going out and being ambitious and acting like a man, etc., right? It's a weird thing. It's like now they're stepping into male type roles, traditional male type roles, and we're questioning, oh, you can do what whatever you want. It's not that I don't want women to work. It's just that it's really not natural. In a way, it's kind of weird in a way. And it's like, I appreciate a woman who's a hard worker. I appreciate a woman who's ambitious. I appreciate a woman who wants to make herself smarter, who goes and gets a degree. Like, I don't necessarily objectively have a problem with that on face value. But when it comes to family, all the things that I mentioned, there's problems there. Right? There's problems there. You have a distant family. You have a woman who's just as stressed out as the man. So she can't he can't recharge the same way. And she can't offer him the same kind of values that a stay-at-home mom could. So up until the 1960s or 70s, we had a lot of men who were proud of that role. Hey, I'm the provider. I'm the guy who gets things done here. Right? Without me, you'd be lost. Now we have a lot of women coming in and saying, hey, I don't need you. This is why you hear that phrase, I don't need no man. I don't need you because I can go out and make my own money. Now, if you break down and think about what that really means, it means that she's placing his worth on him having money, and so is he in a way. But I think it's okay for him to do it in a way, because it's like, hey, that's my role. That's what my father told me my role was. That's what society told me my role was. That's what women told me my role was, right? No one's saying the man's role is to just be a supporter or a lover of a woman. It's that and so much more. You got to make money. You got to be a provider. You got to put food on the table. So there is a sense of pride there, and it is somewhat an ego thing. But here's the thing. So when you ask me that question, I say, no, I don't. I don't feel superior to women, right? I don't feel superior to women because I question that role anyways, because, oh, wait, that's my only worth? Money? And also I have a different viewpoint of money in my personal life. I don't think money, I put God above money, and I put humanity above money, and I put love above money, and I put respect above money. I put all these things above money, whereas the world, they put money as number one, because money is kind of, to them, it's all those things. And it's like, money is their God. They love money, right? They only respect people who have money, right? They don't even want to interact with anybody who doesn't have money. So money is they worship money, but I'm not that way. So for me, it's different. So I don't view men as superior to women, based on that at all. But, I will say that men are much more truthful. Men have to be truthful, right? In the sense that we don't delude ourselves into thinking we are deserving of privilege like women do. I don't believe men have that at all. I don't believe men, take advantage of privilege or anything like that. The only way I see that men taking it, that men have any kind of quote unquote privilege, again, is when they fall into that role. When a man is the provider, he has a sort of honorable position, and you could argue that that's a kind of privilege, but it's not the same kind of privilege that these women have today. When I'm talking about their privilege, really a woman's privilege is unearned in today's day and age, and it's only because people want to sleep with her, which is that's not any kind of real honor at all. That's not honorable at all. So if a man has any privilege being a breadwinner or being a provider, it's because he's earned it, because he is going out and he's working a hard job, and it's stressful, and he has responsibility and accountability of having that burden of carrying a family, and the health and wellness and future of the family rests on his shoulders. That's not what women have privilege today for. Women have privilege today because people want to have sex with them. That's not the same thing at all. That is a kind of diluted validation, right? You're being validated for something that you didn't earn. You're just existing. And this is where women get that smirk, and they think that they're, oh, wow, I'm so great just because guys want to have sex with me. And it's like, no, man, that's a warped, distorted, immoral society type of privilege. And you delude yourself. You delude yourself by thinking you're deserving of that when you didn't do anything to earn it. A man has to earn that privilege of being the breadwinner. A man has to earn that privilege of being the leader of a family because he's the provider. Okay, a man has to earn that by working his whole life and working hard. And that's where men get the rug pulled out from under them, because feminism has attacked that masculine leadership, and they've called it patriarchy. And this is like, men lose their identity. We lose our worth. We don't feel like we matter. This is why men are going their own way. Women aren't honoring us anymore. Women aren't loving us as being crucial providers, as being crucial elements, the crucial element of leadership in the family unit. It's not important to them anymore because they can go out and get their own job. So what do they need us for? And that begs the question, well, what was our worth anyways? It was only because we could provide money. And this is what I talk about, one of the main things I talk about on my channel. But, and we need to have, why can't we be loved for something else besides our money? Why can't we be honored and respected for something else besides our money? Right? And yet women still do. Even though they say they don't need us, they still want that traditional man. The other thing is, we have to be authentic, right? Men have to be authentic. Women don't, right? We have to be genuine. we can't skate by on our looks like women can. We can't skate by on our sexuality like women can. For women, sexuality and their looks is a bartering tool. It's currency, right? Men can't do that. Most men are not Chad. Most men are not male models. We don't have six packs. We're not super in shape. Most men, our worth in this world is you got to have money. And that's sad. And, you know, again, I question that. But again, our worth and our authenticity and our genuineness is not based on our looks, right? It's based on us having value. And what is value? You have to have something. Most people don't want to be friends with a guy who's unemployed. Most people don't want to be around a guy who doesn't bring anything to the table. He's not intelligent. He's not cool or funny or all these things. Like most people, it's very difficult for most people to accept and love and be friends with somebody who has nothing going for him. This is part of the reason why I stepped out of the Matrix, because again, why can't we be loved for just who we are? Why aren't we, you know, but this is the world. This is the corrupt cosmos, right? It's corrupt like that because that's the way it is. And that's, you know, when I stepped out of the Matrix, I left all that behind. I don't want to have to, I only have friends because I'm popular, and I'm only popular because I'm, you know, talented in this way, or because I have money, or because I got a cool car, or like all these stupid things that people put value in, these materialistic outward things. That's why I left the Matrix. But this is what everyone's caught up in. This is why everybody's out there working. Oh, I need to, you know, pay my bills so that I can be a provider. I pay my bills so I can be respectable and people can like me. And it's like, I mean, yes, you need to pay your bills so you can survive. And that's what I think a lot of people are doing as well. They're just surviving. But when it really comes down to what people value and they want to be friends with a lot of it has to do with outward stuff. It's like, yes, it's cool. It's good to be friends with somebody who's funny, and that you know, those things matter, and it's good to date somebody who's got a good personality, and those things matter to people out there. But again, bottom line is, even if you're funny and you got a good personality, like if you don't have money, or you're not paying a mortgage, or you know, like a lot of people, they don't even want to be friends with you. They don't even want to give you that chance. They don't want to date you, right? So these things are prerequisites. These shallow things are prerequisites, right? So men have to bring real value to the table. Women don't have to do any of those things, by the way. They don't have to. All they got to do is look pretty, and even that is questionable. They don't even have to do that. They're women, so therefore they are automatically accepted. They automatically have a voice in society. They automatically are loved and cared for, right? So it's a hard game, man. It's a crazy game. It's a lot to think about. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate you listening to Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.